Welcome to our Pokemon Let's Go podcast. I am Nito Marquis, here with my podcast partner, Naya. Hi, Naya.
Hi!
So I wanted to start with the latest news being, well, I shouldn't say the latest news, but the hottest news was the shinies. I noticed a lot of people getting upset about shinies are not going to appear in the overworld in their shiny form. The only thing you're going to get, the only bone they're going to throw you, is that you get a little bit of a sparkle while they're in the grass. What do you think about that? Because I'm personally, I guess, on the fence.
I kind of like it because it gives a new spin on the game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give a new spin. The only thing I'm wondering is, they've seemed to start giving out shinies like free candy, it's almost like it's barely even a trophy anymore, but at least they're giving us that.
Well, I hope that the game goes a little bit like the games used to, where every so often you manage to find one, if even at all.
I'm pretty sure they increased the odds. I'm not really sure how that works, but I shouldn't say how it works. I should say how the odds are at this point. I don't even know what the shiny odds are anymore, but they're probably not that 8,000.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't really view shinies as special as they used to be anyways.
Oh, heck no. Somebody actually found a shiny while playing Let's Go at one of the E3s or one of the cons. They ran into a shiny right on screen in front of the whole crowd.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, but it also makes me wonder if the odds are increased or if these people were really just that lucky.
Yeah, it's possible. Increase the odds for the showmanship of it. The thing that I don't understand is why they took away the one feature I was really excited about is now you don't battle the Pokemon in the wild anymore. I mean, they eliminated random encounters. That was cool. Now you don't walk around and then on the very last blade of the very last patch of grass, bam, you have a random encounter. No, now it's if you see the Pokemon, you can run away and avoid it. But I thought it'd be really cool. Okay, you see the Pokemon, you can encounter the Pokemon, you battle the Pokemon, and then you have to throw the ball with a degree of skill. It's not a high degree of skill, but it's certainly a degree of skill. Now I took that away.
So wait, you don't battle the Pokemon at all anymore?
You don't even weaken it a little bit. You just throw the ball. I'm gonna side on this one. I'm finite on my stance. I think you should have to battle the Pokemon because to me it seemed like you could incorporate a few things. If its HP is green, yellow, or red, it could help determine how much that thing moves around or has quote unquote moments where it's invulnerable and is smacking the ball away. If it's at full health, it's gonna be moving more. If it's at red health, it's gonna be moving a little less. I thought that'd be really cool. Nope, that's gone.
Yeah, that kind of blows my mind a little bit because I'm so used to battling and weakening, except for I know it's different from Pokemon Go, so that makes me wonder if it's an extension.
Yeah, no, they're definitely going to extend the Pokemon Go feel about it, and that's where I think when they said that this is a main series game, a lot of people are saying that, hey, this is main series, just accept it. To me, I see it as, it's corporate lingo. Yes, it is a main series game, but that doesn't have to mean that it's a generational game. And that being said, they announced that Generation 8 will be coming along on the next batch of games for 2019. So we're going to see a new generational game. And that probably should have the high expectations.
This just feels so weird to me because I thought that this was just a game on its own, but now it's super connected to Pokemon Go, and it feels a little foreign to me.
Yeah, that was really early on that we were all speculating about that. Now that everything's coming out much clearer. In fact, they've shown a lot of the gameplay. At this point, they're almost laying all their cards out, I feel like, because, man, they're showing everything. I must admit, though, the walk animations that came out, now that's definitely the biggest news right now. The walk animations that came out, smooth as butter. I love the animation. I don't have any complaints about the graphics. I think the graphics look fine. I think the walk animations are fine. And yes, Venusaur's he's a frog.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I don't know what I thought Venusaur was, but when I saw the walk animation, I was like, whoa!
Nobody ever picked the grass starter. Bulbasaur was just sitting there in the lab, so I didn't give it a lot of thought, honestly. I never really thought what Venusaur was. I was just like, okay, you got the dragon, you got the turtle, and you got whatever's left over after that. I didn't really think, oh yeah, okay, I guess he is a frog. So when he started hopping, I'm like, I think he's a tree frog. All right. Greninja's a ninja frog. You know, you got Toxicroak as a toxic toad. Politoed's a toad. So, all right, Venusaur could be a tree frog. That's no problem.
That brings me to what I read a little while ago with Pikachu being a electric mouse or a squirrel.
He's not jittery enough to be a squirrel. Trust me, he's not jittery enough. You gotta believe me. The other thing I was wondering about too is, so before I go back to the 2019 releases, the gym battle system. Now this is kind of older news as this comes out, but at the time, the gym battle requirements I think a lot of people are just trying to crucify this poor game. The gym level requirements put a level requirement on it. It wasn't a type requirement. I don't believe that was ever in the picture. I don't know where that came from, but level requirements on the gym. That kind of makes it interesting, I guess. I'm not sure that's going to do much for the game. You know, I don't have any particular issues with gym level requirements.
When it comes to gym level requirements, it's an interesting topic for me because I'm neither for nor against it.
Yeah, there's not much there. I guess for me, what I'm concentrating more on is where the placement of everything is on the map. So I'm starting to wonder, like the Safari Zone. The Safari Zone I know is gone. It's been replaced by the Go Park, I want to say. And it's going to function similar to, in my mind, it's going to function similar to like Gen 4 did, where you transfer your Pokemon over one way. It's forward directional. After that, you go into the Go Park and you find those Pokemon, you recapture them with no fail, of course. Then that's when their stats are transferred over, so the CP system is ditched, and at that point your Pokemon is now on Let's Go.
So if I understand that correctly, you're telling me that it's kind of like Dream World where you enter a Pokemon and then you can wander around and find other Pokemon?
I'm not so sure it's like Dream World, although I don't have a lot of exposure to Dream World. Actually, I'll say that as a nice timeline reference. I think Dream World's release is right around when I kind of fell out of Pokemon, and then I'm just now getting back into it. I mean, there's a ton of things that are being moved around in this game, or at least anticipation of where they're going to go. For instance, the gaming corner. Obviously, you can't have gambling in this game. That's not going to make any sense. So what's going to replace the game corner? Is it going to be a bunch of mini games? Is it going to be something else? Who knows what it could be? What would you put there?
I think it would be a really cool idea to have some kind of a feature there to where you can have mini game access.
Yeah, mini games would be nice. I'm kind of wondering too, because it's got to be something rewarding, of course. The game corner had next door was the prize booth. But, I mean, it's not just that. There's also, for instance, another question I have is Cinnabar Island. In Gen 2, Cinnabar Island was pretty much not deserted. It was just very barren. There wasn't much to do. All the buildings had been sealed off because they had speculated that a volcanic eruption had decimated the island, and they were rebuilding almost. And I don't know if that was in their effort to just put less programming in there, or I don't know why they did that. I think it was just they had a lot on their shoulders with Gen 2 going back to Kanto and Johto, but now Cinnabar Island is obviously very prominent, so are they going to do anything with Cinnabar Island? And you know what, just to catch this really quick, since I speculate the possibility that this is a prequel to Yellow, although I would be shocked to actually see that come out, but if this were a prequel to Yellow, then yeah, Cinnabar Island's going to be doing great.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on what I spoke of a little bit earlier about it being just an extension of Pokemon Go, because I read online a few times about it being connected to Yellow, but at the same time, it's super connected to Pokemon Go, so I'm going to be a little disappointed if it's more Pokemon Go and less Yellow.
I don't know if I'd be disappointed. I mean, Pokemon Go, for me, has had a bunch of ups and downs, but I think for sure I want to see it fall in the Yellow timeline, especially, there's a couple things here, and bear with me as I speculate all the way up, high up the mountain here. If it is a main series game, then I could see where this could fall as a prequel to Yellow, because if they're saying main series, like main generational series, then yeah, maybe it is a prequel to Yellow, like I've said, because there's a lot of support to say that Pokemon Go occurs before any of the first gen stuff, and I've gone over that on the last podcast, but regardless, if it is a main series game that falls in there and it does become a prequel to Yellow, that would be amazing. What I really think is going to happen is they're just going to leave it at, oh, it's based on Yellow, and it's basically a fusion of basis of Yellow going back to Kanto, but it's Pokemon Go and new graphics, and it's on the Switch, co-op, all the new stuff, but still just leave it at based on Yellow. I think that's really what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'd really like it to be connected to Pokemon Yellow than Pokemon Go, just because I'm not that interested in Pokemon Go anymore.
I might fiddle around with it a little bit. Now, I have to admit, Pokemon Go, by no means, I take nothing away from that game. They have come a long way with Pokemon Go. I just think a lot of the updates would have hit really hard. It would have been awesome if they were early on. But I do have to admit, with the new spin on things, and yes, they're taking a lot of pretty creative spins on new things for Kanto region, considering Kanto's the first generation series. Here's a couple of things that came out. So I think it was Takara Toys is what it was called, was the first one to release the leak, if you will, for the possibility of Mega Evolution being in Pokemon Let's Go. And if I'm mistaken, I forget who died. Probably Masuda was the one that confirmed, or wouldn't confirm, sorry, he was asked in an interview, can you deny or confirm that there would be Z moves or Mega Evolutions, which arguably are extreme boundaries of what they have added into the series lately? And he said he wouldn't deny or confirm it at this time, but Takara Toys, I think it was called, had leaked that they were coming out with Let's Go branded Mega Evolutions. So what I wanted to ask you about here is, what do you think about adding all of this stuff back into? I mean, if this is really a Kanto shout out or a Kanto throwback where they're trying to get the old and new players to meet a little bit, do you think they're muddying the waters if they add things like Mega Evolutions to it, Alolan forms, any of that?
Oh yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed if that's going to be the case, because I was looking forward to a more simple kind of game, not as extreme as the last couple of games that have been released with Mega Evolutions and such. I was looking forward to just kind of like casual play.
That's true too. I don't know, if it were just casual play, I think the game would sell very well initially and then kind of flop out. I would like to see them go for a few things, but there are definitely elements that I think they need to add to. For instance, with Mega Evolution, hear me out on this one. I think maybe they should add new Megas. Don't make it look like an abandoned idea. Personally, for me, Mega Evolution was always on the fence. At first, when I heard it, I'm like, all right, so this is Digimon. I get it now. Now, what I kind of feel like, especially I think the anime kind of helped us out. The anime really made me warm up to Mega Evolutions, but if there are going to be Mega Evolutions, let's see some new Mega Evolutions. And I'm not saying that because I'm waiting for a Mega Nidoking, although that is absolutely on the table. But I think that a couple new Mega forms at least would bring some hype back, because otherwise it just feels like, okay, you've got the idea of Mega Evolution, but you don't know what to do with it anymore. And then I add to that too the new Eevolution. We'll get there in a second. But the Mega Evolutions, should we have new Mega Evolutions?
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Even if there are going to be Mega Evolutions, if there should be new ones or not, because yeah, I kind of warmed up to it with Lucario and whatnot, but at the same time, I was looking forward to not having the extra.
I agree, especially with Alolan forms. They're bringing back Alolan forms, and I'm still playing through Moon. I've only just gotten back into Pokemon, so I'm still playing through, but it appears to me that all the Alolan forms are only Gen 1. I didn't want to spoil anything for myself, so that's why it sounds like I'm uneducated about Alolan forms, but if they are all Gen 1, my first question is why? And then the second question is, are we adding any new Alolan forms, or is it just, hey, we're playing through Kanto, but now we have Alolan forms? We have Mega Evolution if that makes its way, but it's the same old, you know, and for that matter, since it's only the original Pokemon, then there's only going to be a handful of Mega Evolutions anyway. And to that, I say, when it comes to adding new content to this game, they had hinted, and again, this was a Twitter post mainly that I had seen from the company. I don't remember the name of the company, and I'm not putting anything on the screen during this podcast, but the keychains, you saw that?
No, what keychains?
So the keychains, were they keychains? I think they were. They were handing out, or not handing out, they were selling keychains of all the Eevolutions. And they said, and one mystery one. Well, the thing was, they listed out every known Eevolution. And then they had the mystery one. The mystery one is being speculated as a brand new evolution for Eevee. And that goes hand in hand with the fact they said there's going to be a new creature in the game.
I read an article online about a third evolution for Pikachu, but I had no idea about the keychains or tags, whatever you want to call them, that were being handed out that had to do with Eevee. So it makes me wonder if it's another Pikachu evolution, or, well, rather it would be Raichu, or if it's Eevee.
Oh, no, you're talking about the Gorachu? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was one of the artists had said that he was going to be designing an evolution for Raichu. I think this is what I got from it. This was going back 20 years ago. They were saying that he was going to be making a third evolution to Pikachu, and they were calling it Gorachu, and it was going to have like horns and fangs. That was pretty funny, but no, that's not, I don't think that's in the plans at all. I think think it's just the evolution.
Okay, so what kind of evolution do you think it's going to be?
I don't know, but I think everybody wants that dragon evolution finally. But I mean, they're pretty much in the future of Pokemon. Pokemon ain't going anywhere anytime soon, obviously. So they're just going to keep finishing out the Eevee series for every single type that's there. I would say, I guess I'll put my chips on dragon.
I'd personally like to see a ghost.
Ghost Eevee. I think Ghost would be cool too. There's a few of them that are overdue, but for certain, yeah, if it's a new type, that's cool. I like that they're adding that in. That would be great. And, give us a bone. Throw us a couple megas, I guess. I'd be okay with that.
I'd kind of wonder what they're going to make mega evolutions of if it's going to be new ones.
Nidoking and Nidoqueen. I definitely want those.
I'm not really sure that there's any particular Pokemon that I'd like to see a mega evolution for.
I wonder whatever happened to the rumors about the Farfetch'd evolution. They haven't followed up on that if that's going to be a thing or not, but I know Farfetch'd is way overdue for an evolution. Mega Farfetch'd. What do you think about that?
I wonder how many leeks it's going to have. Just to clarify, a leek is also known as a green onion.
That's the thing he's holding. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't know that was called a leek, but if I had to guess if he had an evolution, especially with a mega evolution, since they exaggerate things a lot, I would have to guess he'd be holding an entire stump.
I don't think they're called a stump. I'm not really sure what a collection of green onions would be called. Either way, I would be interested to know what the mega evolution will look like if it gets one.
No, he definitely is not getting a mega evolution, but I'm speculating that when he does mega evolve, he's like, all right, forget the onion. That's a thing of the past. I'm taking a whole tree with me.
I don't think that the little duck thing would be able to hold an entire tree.
Then I at least want him to see, maybe he can hold seaweed with him. He'll fly around and throw seaweed bombs at everybody.
Why would he have seaweed, though?
Because this idea is definitely not going to happen.
Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. So I do want to address, last thoughts here are the Generation 8 game that will be coming out in 2019. Here's my thoughts on that. I absolutely think it should be, and it's on Switch, I think it should be great graphics, great design. I would like to see it work a lot more on the design of the game and less on the mechanics, because every generation they're trying to hit us with a wow factor. In 6, it was Mega Evolution. Holy crap, this brand new idea, Mega Evolution. In 7, it was Z moves. How are we going to keep topping that if you keep working on game mechanics like that? I would really like to see, let's just focus on the straight up design of things, design of the Pokemon. Let's get some detail in it, which I know is not effective for marketing at all, because they want to design it. They want to make sure that it takes little time as possible and it still looks good. There's just no additional design detail.
I'll be honest, all I'm thinking about right now is how I'm never, ever, ever going to be able to catch them all.
Yeah, there's 808 now with Zeraora being added, I think. That's 808 is where we're at, and that's a lot. So when Generation 8 comes, oh my god.
Yeah, I was having trouble trying to capture all of the, 150 originally?
Yeah, 151. You had to glitch Mew in.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've never captured all of those. I tried really hard, and then they came out with the next game. I tried really hard for that one, too. Came out with another game, and I'm just like, I can't keep up at all.
I'm going to step away from the 2019 Gen 8 stuff for one moment here. Did they really make it to where you can capture Mew after you complete all those research tasks? You can get Mew in Pokemon Go, but then to get Mew in Let's Go, you're not allowed to transfer it over. You have to buy the Pokeball controller.
Are you serious?
I think I heard that. I'm not sure. That might be nothing. I'm not sure. I might be spewing lies here, but I'm pretty sure I saw something about that, and I'm not going to go looking it up now because I don't have anything live on the screen. This is an audio podcast, but at some point I'm sure I saw that Mew is locked into Pokemon Go. You cannot transfer him over.
Well, all I'm thinking of right now is that I'm glad that I stopped playing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not glad I stopped playing. I'll be honest. I might transfer a few Pokemon over, but when we do our co-op series, for sure, I'm going to use only the Pokemon in Let's Go, and after the fact, maybe I'll bring in Pokemon from Go Park.
Hey, you know what? You can finally get your Pichu.
Ladies and gentlemen, she caught the Pichu that had the hat, and I still don't have a Pichu even till this day. She has 2 of them.
I do. They both hatched out of the eggs, and I was like, hey, one of them can be yours.
I was hatching like Oddish, Venonat. I'm like, come on, where's this Pichu during the event? It was the last hours of the event. I want to say When was the Pichu? Oh, that was the Pichu with the Ash Ketchum hat. So whenever that was, this is the time frame for it. That's when that happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could point out exactly the same spot that I was standing in when it hatched too.
And poor little Pichu has a hat on, but it's too big for his body, so it's oversized. And yeah, I wanted one.
Well,
I didn't get one.
You have one. It's just on my phone.
Trading's a thing now.
I'm not downloading the game just to trade you a Pichu. Sorry.
You have a shiny Altaria.
Actually, I never evolved that.
You have a shiny Swablu.
Yeah, that was pure luck.
That's how it should be, too. You should have to earn it. But, so 2019. Again, the Generation 8. I'm going to bring in something I bet nobody's talking about, because this one's really cool. Alongside the fact that my Pokemon, or I should say my channel is devoted to Pokemon here, something I love and I've always had fun with is Digimon. Digimon Survive. That's right. I'm bringing Digimon into a Pokemon podcast. We all know Digimon is not going to outsell Pokemon Let's Go. However, I actually, you know what? I'm going to say on this one, since Digimon is probably going to come out, I would say between the two games, Let's Go. In fact, between Let's Go and Generation 8, I'm sure Digimon is not going to want to launch their game in the middle of one of them directly compete. They're going to want to get in the middle of both games. I'm going to bet that Digimon actually is probably going to be a more sophisticated graphics and maybe better gameplay than Let's Go.
That's another game that I'm really excited for just because I've been playing Cyber Sleuth games on PS4, though I'm a little bit lost and confused on the Digivolving process.
I'm lost on the Digivolving myself too, because I didn't realize how many options there were for Digivolving. But absolutely, Cyber Sleuth is awesome. I love the fact that we got those games, because I know that there was an initial problem where they didn't think they were coming over at all. Now they weren't. They were translated. They weren't overdubbed, I don't believe. But nonetheless, the Cyber Sleuth games were great. So we know that Digimon is not going to outsell Pokemon and all that, but I got to be honest here. What are you more excited for? Let's Go or Digimon Survive?
That's really a tough question. I would say... I don't know. I hate to do this, but I'm really excited to see how Pokemon Let's Go turns out to be, because there's been a lot of stuff in the news lately. And like I said, I'm really excited for the Digimon game, but I'll be honest, I might play Pokemon a little bit more than the Digimon game.
Oh man, I really hope we get a crowd watching this or listening to this, because I'm going to get crucified, especially when I'm a Pokemon channel, or at least that's what I claim to be. I play a Pokemon channel on TV, but you know what? I'm going to get crucified for this one. I think I might actually be more hyped for Digimon Survive than I am Pokemon Let's Go, because I really like the idea of an awesome Digimon game on the Switch. I think that'd be amazing. And even if it doesn't outsell Pokemon, it can still out-quality Pokemon.
Well, I'm not going to get mad at you for that, because I'm kind of on the same fence, so to speak, just because, like, a lot of the hype that's been around Pokemon Let's Go and Eevee, I'm really excited about that, but at the same time, I'm super excited for Digimon just because I didn't even know that there were Digimon games out for the PS4. So when I discovered that, I've been kind of binging those games lately.
It snuck under the radar for sure, but it was so awesome. I mean, Digimon's always had a more epic storyline. I know it's hard to say when Pokemon is having world crises every generation, such as it started in 3 with Aqua and Magma, and then Team Galactic, and all the way up to Team Flare. I don't know what Sun and Moon has, other than Team Skull so far, which they just seem to be gangsters around the island. But for sure, this is going to be awesome. So I love bringing Digimon into this, because Digimon and Pokemon have been going for so long. But my last thoughts here are I want to battle Professor Oak. Give us that, please. A really tough battle at the end. Professor Oak after the Elite Four.
I don't know what kind of battle you would like with a professor, but I don't know why you're so gung-ho about that. Is that like the final boss thing for you?
Because they took that away from us in Generation 1, and I didn't know about it as a kid. And when I found out, then I got fumed, because I was like, we could have battled Professor Oak. You can still battle Professor Oak, but you have to glitch him. And it's not a hack, it's a glitch, but his data's in there. I would have loved that battle. He had like all 3 starters, although I've never seen him use all 3 starters in the same battle, but he had all 3 starters at some point of variation. He usually uses 2 of the 3. He has, and I put this out on Twitter too because a lot of people didn't know about this. He has a Tauros, he has an Executor, Arcanine, 2 of the 3 starters, and whatever his last Pokemon was. Gyarados.
I was gonna say, I didn't know that, but I'm kind of intrigued because you said that the data was still there. Why weren't you able to do it if the data was in the game?
I have no idea. I heard once that they just thought it would be too hard for kids because his Pokemon were so high leveled, but I cannot confirm that because I don't even have a source. That's just a simple, oh, I heard once, so I have no source for that, but please, just let us have Professor Oak.
I'd kind of be interested to see a battle with Professor Oak just because, you know, a lot of us grew up with Gen 1 and now it's Gen 8 that's going to be coming out?
That's right.
So I'm kind of curious if they're going to throw us a bone, you know, the ones that have grown up with the series.
I would just like them. I mean, that's throwing everybody a bone if they can battle Professor Oak. I'm serious. I want Professor Oak as the final boss in this game, like the Easter egg boss, the final battle.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know kids are going to be playing it and probably throw a fit if they can't beat him or something.
Kids, get better. Professor Oak's hard, but he's not that hard, I promise. Besides that, I think that I think that Professor Oak as the final battle would make sense if this is a prequel to Yellow. Again, that's my speculation. Professor Oak is going to be not in his prime, but he's not going to be that old. I mean, he's going to be a pretty well-seasoned battler.
That still just blows my mind about Professor Oak and the data. It's a glitch, not a hack. Then why weren't you able to do it in the first place?
I did not know you didn't know about that. I'm going to show you. I've been spamming this all over Twitter. I've been spamming what I think Oak's battle will look like. I made a crappy picture of Professor Oak in Let's Go because he gives this real devious looking face for a moment. And I put, it's battle time from the rival battle. And I'm like, yes, that's my vision. Battling Professor Oak. I'm going to make that the screen. That's what everybody's going to see on screen right now. That's 2 weeks of Pokemon Let's Go news discussion, and considering how many videos are probably out there at this point, I'd hopefully like to have a more open discussion with this video versus just saying there's new leaks and there's new news. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Until next time.
All right, Nina Marquis out.